The Amazon rainforest, largely unexplored to this day, verdant, impenetrable, forbidden. This is the scene of a remarkable human endeavor based upon a true story rarely told, practically unbelievable, and almost lost. A rainforest shaman, an American doctor, and a shared quest for one of the most important medical discoveries of all time. In search of the medicine man, Dr. W. Henry Ferguson, and his quest for a cancer cure in the jungles of the Amazon rainforest.
One out of every 4 people living today will die of cancer. After heart diseases, cancer is the leading cause of death. Many forms of cancer are incurable, and the best of medical efforts are often ineffective. Cancer causes terrible depression, extreme pain, disfigurement, and death. One man determined to fight this disease studied the plants of remote jungles in search of a remedy. At great risk, he befriended the fiercest of primitive tribes, the headhunters of the Amazon basin. Over the course of 60 years, this researcher found, refined, and tested a plant-derived anti-cancer formula. He successfully treated over 200 people, many of them diagnosed as terminal. Most of his patients were completely cured, without side effects or reoccurrence. He was Dr. W. Henry Ferguson, the real medicine man, and this is his story.
You know, you found the cure for cancer, and all you can say is, I know.
Ferguson's fascinating life story was taken as the premise for the popular motion picture Medicine Man.
When I say I can't reproduce it.
Wait a minute, I don't understand.
What don't you understand? I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost it.
Though dramatized, Sean Connery's portrayal of Ferguson's heroic quest in the rainforest captures the intensity of the real-life challenges Ferguson faced. As a young man, Henry Ferguson worked in a hospital ward for those with incurable diseases, primarily cancer. Exposed for years to the pain and disfiguring onslaught of cancer, Ferguson became driven by the need for cures to be found. Foremost on his mind was the idea that helpful drugs might be found in the tropical jungles of the world. Ferguson reckoned that the peoples of these areas had developed botanical cures for many of their own ailments. Taking time off from his medical studies, Henry moved his young family to Peru in 1931. With his wife, an equally dedicated nurse, and years of practical doctoring skills, he set up clinics, treating and befriending whomever he met. For the next 14 years, Henry Ferguson was to travel the region, collecting and testing plant samples. He sought out local medicine men about their uses of plants in healing. While many useful compounds were found, one that addressed cancer remained elusive. Also elusive were the mysterious and dangerous Indians of the deep interior of Ecuador. Yet by chance, Ferguson had an opportunity to heal the daughter of Tangamasha, the chief medicine man of the Jivaro tribe. Thus began a lifelong partnership between the man of modern medicine and the rainforest native, a recipient of centuries of tribal lore and plant knowledge. The Jivaros had practiced the ritual shrinking of heads for centuries, and the self-taught researcher was desperate to try the carefully guarded secret formulas for their potential to shrink the uncontrolled growths, the devastating tumors of cancer. Passing a series of tests at risk to his own head, Ferguson earned recognition as a medicine man. His doctoral thesis before the tribal elders required Ferguson to shrink the head of an enemy. He chose the red monkey as a symbolic adversary. Plant-gathering expeditions, guided by Tangamasha, combed the jungles. Though the jungle labs were crude, Ferguson's approaches were sound. With Western empirical method applied, the dark secrets of the Hevero headhunters began to yield to the light of reason. Field testing showed promise. Naming the formula Amatosin, Henry Ferguson brought to the world a life-saving remedy for the most deadly of diseases, cancer. Treatment was always foremost in the mind of Dr. Henry Ferguson. With his successful botanical extract, Henry healed those who came to him from the different cities of Ecuador. With careful record-keeping and administration by other doctors, these informal human clinical trials demonstrated astounding success. Dr. Ferguson's work with Amatosin proved its efficacy with terminally ill cancer patients. It is safe and, unlike other approaches, non-toxic. There are no side effects such as weight and hair loss, severe depression, or immune system suppression. It is unlike radiation and chemotherapy, which have little selectivity between healthy human cells and cancerous tumors. In the 1970s, Amatosin was introduced with cancer patients in Mexico. At the time, the limited supply of Amatosin was only available to a handful of doctors. The remarkable recoveries they recorded should have put Amatosin in the forefront of medicine. However, as competition to the modern medicine of radiation and chemotherapy, a remedy from the jungle was overlooked. Ferguson was unable to raise further research funding. Later in life, he approached major pharmaceutical companies. Yet he had not isolated the active ingredient, had no patent, and could never be contractually assured that Amatosin would not be stolen or shelved. To this day, Amatosin has never achieved wider distribution. Before he passed away at age 93, Henry Ferguson worked with his son and partner, Eugene, to secure the future of Amatosin. The extensive notes on plant knowledge, extraction methods, and formulas were secured and have been kept confidential. Thus, the Ferguson formula will yet fulfill its potential to fight the inhumane suffering for which it was developed. This proven botanical anti-cancer formula will be transformed into a global biopharmaceutical medicine.